Camiel Dijkers is the project manager of Groen-Blauw, Blue Municipality of Almere. Prior to this, he spent 16 years as a consultant in water and space, specializing in green, blue, and climate-related projects. Camiel also served as asset management for Green at the province of North Holland for 4 years and focused on biodiversity improvements. His professional interests include fish migration, telemetry, modeling, and fish passage design. His expertise focuses on environmental sustainability, project management, and green infrastructure. Thanks, Camiel.
Thank you for inviting me on this night seminar. I learned also very much on this seminar. And as I'm working as a project manager in Almere, I focus on local activities. And now I see a broad perspective of all kind of world problems. It's the first of the month. First Monday, yeah. First Monday of the month. As I mentioned, I'm working as a project manager on all kind of blue and green projects in Almere. And one of the projects is called Excellent Green and Healthy Living Environment. And the abbreviation is quite a terrible abbreviation, especially for non-Dutch people. The abbreviation ECHO, quite terrible. But as I entered the name of the seminar into Google, I came up with this picture. And I expect that was not the topic of the seminar. But it probably tells you more about me than about the seminar. Before I go into detail into the project I'm working on, the ECHO project, I want to start with a small lecture. And for most of you, this is probably not new, but we see very much an increase of urban settlement all over the world. The cities are becoming bigger and bigger, and that will not stop. As you see this graphic from the United Nations, they expect the cities to continue growing over the next decades. And that's very worrisome, especially since you realize that over 2/3 of these cities are located in deltas. Like the city Delft and the city of Almere, where I live, also located in deltas. And of course, deltas are facing serious climatic changes, and we have to adapt. And climate change is not the only problem we're facing. We're facing a tremendous growth in the cities, and it's hard to keep up with this growth. Development of infrastructure is a problem, causing lots of traffic jams, causing smog, causing air pollution. And then again, we have problems with housing, social security, and so on. So there's a lot to be done. And just realize that the cities occupy about 0.5% of the land coverage, but they consume about 75% of our natural resources. So actually, the cities, they act like a black hole. They suck up everything, not only the people, but also the resources. And that takes a lot of us for the country. And it's good to see that we are already working on the livelihood of the cities. We are trying to work on climate adaptation, of course. In Almere, we are working on electrification of traffic to reduce problems with pollutions. We are working on local food production. And of course, we are also working on biodiversity. For instance, the introduction of bluefins and and beehives on the rooftops and so on. But there's still a lot to be done. Now I go over to Almere. Almere is a new town. It's located in the polder of Flevoland, which is the largest polder in the Netherlands. And they started creating this polder at the end of the late 50s. And in 1975, they started building Almere. By then, it was all bare land, reed, and nothing else. And over the last decades, the city grew up to 220,000 inhabitants until now. And that took a mean growth of 4.5% per year for the amount of inhabitants to increase. And in last year, we reached a growth of 2.3%, which means we grew with more than 5,000 people per year. And it's hard to imagine, but at this current moment in Almere, we are already facing a lack of space within the boundaries of the city. That's hard to imagine, but what we see now is that we start with infill development. So the green parts within the city are under pressure, causing a lot of discussions with the inhabitants, of course. And we also see rebuilding of areas, creating more density, more housing within a small amount, within a smaller area. So the city is constantly developing, and we are also facing infrastructural problems, not only problems with traffic jams, but also problems with the congestion on the electricity net. So there's not enough capacity for all the electricity which is transported through the town. And also on the demographic scale, we are facing problems. We are dealing with an aging population. And in some areas, especially the older areas, well, let's say old areas that were built before 1980, we see a lot of poverty and social isolation. I'm a bit embarrassed to mention these problems because they are nothing compared with the problems you see in the slums, for instance, in Sao Paulo. But nevertheless, we have to deal with them. Almere is a very ambitious city, and you can see Almere as a bit of a living lab. There are a lot of possibilities, and it's a city that stimulates innovation. For instance, we just recently, over the last 10 years, started building an area called Oosterwold, and that's an area where you can sort of live off-grid and create your own agricultural area. We try to live by the 7 principles. I'm not going to mention them all, but I'm going to pick out 2 of them. One of the 7 principles is we want to combine city with nature. And another of the principles is we want to design healthy systems. Now that seems easy, but it's not. If you go to how it works in the field. If you look at the how do you say I can't find the right Dutch, the English word for it. The policymakers in Almere, they also want to work on a healthy future. So big words, but how does it work in practice? Now I come to the ECHO project. ECHO project is funded by a program called Almere 2.0. And this program is a program that works on the longer term of the city development. It not only works on a greener city, but it also works on education, on sustainability, on climate change, and so on. And the funding of this program comes from both the money from the municipality, but also money from the province of Flevoland and money from the state. So the ECHO project is funded by the Almere 2.0 program. And if you look at the city, there are within the municipality of Almere 2 groups actually working on the infrastructure of the city. There's one group that works on the development of new areas, while the city is still growing. And there's another group of people that works on the maintenance of the present city. And there comes in the program Almere 2.0, which works on the longer term. And it's really a topic for us to connect in the right way with those 2 groups, because we try to work on a different level than the 2 groups that work on the development of the city. So that takes a lot of time. And well, we have big ambitions in Almere. We want to grow to 350,000 people in the year 2050. So that takes a lot of energy. And that means that we have to grow with the same percentage per year since we started building and creating Almere. So we have to grow by over 5% per year in the amount of inhabitants. Like I said, Almere is located in the polder of Flevoland. And here you see an old map before Almere was built. And if you look closely, you see a lot of green and blue-green areas within the city. And it's great to see that this map is from early 70s. And actually, most of what was designed on the map now really exists and is one of the, especially the green corridors, is one of the high qualities of Almere. And it actually became a unique selling point of the city. A lot of people who live in the city come to Almere or came to Almere because of the space and because of all the green and blue areas. And I think it was on Cecil's presentation that I saw this wedding cake, or was it yours? Oh, the wedding cake. Yeah. Well, actually, this is our wedding cake, a pyramid of Maslow. And actually, this is what we try to implement when we work on the building and the creation of our city. You start at the bottom with a healthy ecosystem, because that can create all kind of eco services like good water quality, good air quality, and that provides an area where you can recreate, where you can have a happy life. And above that, it gives us the identity of the city, making it an interesting area to settle. Within the ECHO project, we are working on 3 pilot locations within the city. And on these locations, we focus on different target groups. And we want to for all those locations, we want to improve health for the environment, and we want to improve the climate situation within these locations. And we're not only designing a new area, but we're also monitoring the effects of the measures we are taking. And the design we make for the area, we try to design research-based, and that is quite well. It's not as for us. It's quite difficult, I must say. We try to design based on proven knowledge, on data that already exists, well, it's quite a challenge. And the things we learn in these projects, we try to capture in a toolbox. And since the project is still going on, we expect the toolbox to become ready within, well, the next 3 years or so. As I mentioned, oh no, I didn't mention that, so I'm going to mention it now. We not only work with the municipality, but we also work with the, again, a terrible abbreviation, GGD, which is the organization which works on the health of our inhabitants. And we also work with a business partner called ID Verde. They make the designs for our locations. And we work together with the University of Eres, which is also located within our city. And two of their professors work closely in our projects. Here I hope you can see. These are the 3 locations we work on. The first one is called Nobelhorst, which is in a completely new area, which is under construction right now. And there we focus on young children. So that's our target group for that area, because it's all young people living there. The next location is called Algrapad. It's a location just behind the central station of Almere. And there we focus on young people from an age from 15 to around 30. And the third location is called Leemwierde, which is in one of the oldest city parts, Almere Haven. And there we focus on elderly people, because in this area we have a, well, not a really problem, but people are over 50 and they are dealing with problems like social poverty and so on. Here you see a picture of Nobelhorst, and we are going to create a challenging and healthy playground from street to forest. The street is located near a forest, and we want to invite the children from the playground to the forest. And next to that, we want to add a lot of green. It's still under construction, so the roads are not ready yet, and the playground still has to be built. We are going to monitor different physical parameters in the area, and we're going to use how the children will use the apparatus we are going to place. And of course, we're also going to have interviews with people who live there to see how they experience the measures we are taking. At the moment, the design is ready, and we are working on realization, and it's expected to start this spring. This is Almere Haven. If you look at the picture, it's a park, and it's already a very green park, but the park has very limited qualities. It's just a green area, but there are no spaces to meet. And safety, social safety is also a problem. So that is important for us, and we are going to add different trails in the park, so elderly people can make small walks along the park, and we are going to create cool spots, places where people can have cool areas to relax, and also add meeting places in this park. And also again, on this location, we're going to monitor several physical parameters, the usable space, and also do interviews with the people who live there. At the moment, also this design is ready, but realization will probably start somewhere in October this year. This is the third location, which is right behind the central station. On the left hand, you have the central station, the train station. And we want to create a linear park on this location. Now it's still very, there's a lot of hard pavement, and we want to create what we call sticky places, places where young people can meet, where young people can gather to go to sports. The Algerapad will connect two large parks, so people can meet on the Algerapad to go to the park and have sports, go do what they want to. And we also want to add urban sports and urban culture, like creating facilities where they can, how do you say, paint on the wall? Well, you know what?
Graffiti or
graffiti?
Yeah.
Graffiti, yeah, add graffiti. But also we add furniture where they can skate alongside and that kind of stuff. And also here we will do all the monitoring. At the moment we are working on the design of this Algerapad. The design will be ready somewhere at the end of this summer, and then we start with the contraction, the next phase going to implementation. As I mentioned, the project is not ready yet, but even so, we have learned a lot until now. We are trying all kinds of innovations in this project and on different locations, but in practice it's hard to realize those innovations. We deal with the organization which is, for instance, working on the maintenance of the city, and some of our innovations are quite difficult for them to accept. So it takes a lot of time to persuade our colleagues to do the innovations. And I think some of these innovations are really necessary to gain our goals. So that you have to invest a lot in ownership and support within your own organization to get things done. And one of the very important factors, if you talk to those people, some of the measures you want to take, they seem quite expensive. But if you look at the total lifespan of your measures you want to take, and if you include the production process of that thing you want to place in the open space, it might actually work out in a profitable way. So you have to look at the total lifespan of your design and not only look at the present costs where you buy it in the shop and what it costs for maintenance. So that is important to take in account. I come to an end of my presentation, and actually doing nothing is not an option. Climate change seems to go faster. Every time we have a new IPCC report, we see that things are going faster and faster. And urbanization is also growing very fast. So doing nothing is not an option. And I think doing nothing will actually be more expensive. So we have a lot to do. Thank you.